Hi everyone, welcome back to English 2351. I hope you are all doing well or as well as possible during this kind of complicated and difficult time. I wanted to just offer you a video to walk through some of the differences in our class moving forward, and now that we're in an online format. I hope to post some videos to just offer explanations in the future, so if that's helpful then definitely take a look at them. If not, no biggie. But I wanted something to just offer a little more information since we can't be together to talk through all of this. So first, what I want to do is go back to something that's pretty familiar, right? This is our D2l Space. So the announcements area is going to be the same moving forward. Any reminders or updates will be posted here, and I'll also work every week to kind of offer a reminder of what to do in the class, just so that when you log in, everything is right there, right? Right there, visual. Make sure that you're getting those announcement updates, whether it is through the Pulse app that you've downloaded, the Brightspace Pulse app, or if you set up your notifications in D2l by going up to your name at the top and then selecting notifications and walking through that process so you can get the notifications via text message, right? So moving forward, this space is pretty familiar to us, but we want to also kind of get familiar with the content area. We used this before for a couple of things, just kind of offering PowerPoints and the syllabus. You'll notice now that we have the Syllabus Addendum, so that's all the updates and explanations of what we're doing moving forward. And then the rubric for the online discussion posts, and I'll add things as I see a necessity for those, but I'll also offer that same kind of information in our weekly area. So in the content area, if you're looking at the overview, this is what you'll see. And then in order to see our weekly information and requirements, you'll click on Table of Contents. And that's where every week I'll just post for this week, these are the things that are due, and any videos associated with it, any documents that are going to be helpful there. So you'll see here it's pretty limited. I'm not putting everything on there just yet. Your weekly assignments and discussion post prompts will be visible starting on Mondays. So if you don't see it now, look back and you'll take a look and you'll see those. But the syllabus addendum is also here as a link. It is in PDF format. I'm going to try to post it in both .doc or .docx or Word format and PDF. If you're unable to see either of those on whatever device you might be using, if it's a tablet or computer, that should be pretty approachable, but if not, I can load that in JPEG format so you can see page by page just an image of the addendum. So if you click here, it will open that syllabus addendum. I'm going to pull it up on my computer so that you can take a look. So the syllabus addendum is just walking, I'm just scrolling through. To stop there for just a second because I didn't have the proper addendum up, so my apologies. I'm still getting used to this technology. So you'll see on the screen the addendum, or just the updates and changes for our class, and it just kind of walks through, this is going to be tough for some of us. For some of us, we're used to online courses, and this shift is not going to be very difficult. But some of you have not taken online courses, so it may be a little frustrating at first, and that's okay. Just take your time. Our first week back, I'm not really going to push with a lot of high value grades. I just want us to get used to things. But we will be using discussion posts for here on out for our class, right? Because we just don't have the capacity to do some of the other things that we were originally planning. Using the discussion post in D2l kind of allows us to have a conversation and to share our work and our ideas instead of being able to do that in the class, right? When we do that together. So for each week, I'm going to ask you to do 2 main discussions, right? So the first is going to be due on Wednesday, right? And you will also have another that's due on Friday. So I've also put here, please, if you need to, work ahead. Your schedule, whether it is a work schedule or with your family. There's a lot going on right now, so if you need to work ahead, by all means do. But those hard due dates and times are going to be Wednesdays at 11:59 p.m. and then Fridays at 11:59 p.m. Okay, so for some of those posts, I'm also going to ask you to respond to two colleagues, right? Just like we would have a discussion in class, I'm going to ask that you read and thoroughly understand what another person has posted and then offer a response of about 4 to 5 sentences, right? That's a way for us to kind of move the communication and the collaboration online, okay? So I've broken it down in just kind of a general way to see a week at a glance, right? So forgive me, this is actually week 14, just ignore that. The weekly general discussion and the paper topic discussion, this is what you have due this week. Then you have, this will be posted on Monday, the weekly discussion, but it's due on Wednesday by 11:59 p.m. And if responses are required, those will be due later, okay? It says Sunday, but I might just push it to Friday so that we're not, you know, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, then Sunday, but just keep an eye out for that. So if you want to look at it in a more kind of weekly format, this may be a little bit easier. I'm going to post both of your discussion prompts on Mondays, and then your general discussion, which is largely based on the reading required for that week, will be due at 11:59 p.m. on Wednesday. And then you'll have your paper topic discussion that's due by 11:59 p.m. So instead of us having our more formal paper based on research and everything, we're going to just kind of limit that to more of a discussion post. So we'll start small, and I'm just going to start asking you to kind of dig into what you would like to compare and contrast, and then maybe bringing in some research to support your ideas. And I would definitely recommend using Anzaldúa and Moraga's readings that we talked about right before the break, because those are considered theory that you can use for literary criticism, okay? And then if you are required to post a response, those are generally going to be due by Fridays, right? Whether it's for the general discussion or the paper topic discussion. I put a little note here just as a reminder. D2l, we know, can be kind of clunky and difficult. I really recommend that you formulate your responses and your ideas in Microsoft Word if you have the technology available to you to do that. You can use the spell check and the grammar check features, of course, but you can also then save your work. Sometimes working in D2l, you'll go to post and it's timed out or something has occurred and your work is lost. So if you're working in Microsoft Word, that kind of won't create such issues, right? You don't want your work to be lost. I want to also make a note about grades. Moving forward, you're going to keep the grade you had before, right? Nothing is going to change for the work that you did before the break. And then we're just going to start averaging together the points moving forward. Okay, so you'll have your weekly discussion. That's going to be worth around 80 to 100 points across the next couple of weeks. And when you have some time, you can read through this as well. And then you'll have your paper discussion, which is a little bit more in terms of points because it's going to be a bit more in terms of length, but also you'll bring in some research. So it's just a different kind of effort, okay? And then we'll also continue on with our multimedia project. That's a really great way to end the semester. It's not an exam, it's not a paper, it's a way for you to get creative. I'll post a separate assignment sheet on that and probably a video to walk through and explain what is needed for that that grade. It's a larger grade, 150 points, but it's also a lot of fun. It allows us to do something a little bit different. I want you to note that my office hours are now going to be online through the instant message feature in D2l. So that will be from 12 p.m. to 1:30 p.m. Monday through Thursday. Okay, if that time doesn't work for you for whatever reason, we can always set up an appointment. And if the instant message feature on D2l just doesn't work for you, or you would rather talk over the phone or maybe have a Zoom meeting, we can always talk about that and set up an appointment. I want to just briefly walk through where to go for the instant messages for my online office hours. So if you're in D2l and we're back at our home page, right? If you go up to the icon here where you would typically go for your email, from the drop-down menu, instead of selecting email, click on instant messages. Okay, make sure that pop-ups are allowed in your browser. Please be using Chrome or Firefox. Don't use Internet Explorer, it's the worst. So if you enable your pop-ups, this little window should appear. Okay, at the top, go ahead and select Class List. Okay, and then you should see our class if you're in our class at that point, and all the names of the folks in there. Okay, when you go and you want to instant message somebody, you should just click on their name. Nayeli, I'm just going to use yours as an example. You can either select and check next to the person's name and click message, and then you would type down here, click here, or probably more easy to do, just click on the name. So if you click on Nayeli's name or my name, which should appear in your list, then you can just click type your question or message and click send. You should be able to see that I am online. I see you are all offline. Thankfully, you shouldn't be hanging out online just yet. But you should see that I'm available. I would also suggest over here, we're a smaller class, but we're only seeing 10 people at a time. So if you for some reason don't see me, click on 20, and that may open up different people, right? Or you can click on add and go through that process for me, okay? And then in the inbox, you'll see any notes back or any information. So it'll take a while to get used to it, but it's a pretty easy kind of chat feature. So that's what we'll be doing for office hours moving forward. But then we can also reach out in different ways if that is better for you. Okay, here's your actual schedule for the rest of our semester. So you'll see that the prompts will be posted on Monday. On Wednesday, your general discussion response is going to be due. For our week back, we're going to talk about the Hernandez brothers, right? That was in our syllabus originally. So go back, take a look at that reading on pages 307 to 314. And that's what you will respond to. And then on Friday, your paper topic discussion. So I'll have a particular prompt for that as well. And then I'm asking you to respond to 2 of your colleagues in the discussion area. Okay, so all of those are 10 points. We're starting small and we'll expand as we get a little bit more comfortable. And then I've put a little note here. So in preparation for next week, we're going to move into I'm Not Your Perfect Mexican Daughter, right? We're going to read chapters 4 to 15. So that's a hefty reading, but in this book, things go quickly. And that's the focus of our reading for the rest of the semester. So I want you to prepare for those discussion posts, which will appear on Mondays, right? But I also want you to create 2 discussion questions for other folks in the class. So push some ideas on what people should be noticing, or, hey, did you connect this to another reading? If so, what? We want some really thoughtful questions, not something that's just a simple yes or no. We worked on some of those kinds of questions in our reading notebook before the break, so just expand on that kind of idea and we're going to include that in the general discussion so that you can respond to one another. Okay, so then we also have the same kind of format for week 15. And then week 16 is the same, okay? But you'll see the points are getting a little bit bigger, right? And then in finals week, or what was originally finals week, we have the discussions as well, but you'll see that the multimedia project is going to be due in the discussion area on Sunday, okay? I'm going to post an information sheet about that. So don't get too nervous about it just yet. And I'll post a video as well. For the paper and the exams, just take a look at the updates here when you have a second. And then here is some pretty general information about your multimedia project with some links that you might find useful. I'll walk through some of that in another video, okay? For the discussion posts, you just got to scroll down a little bit. Here's the rubric. I'm also going to post this as a separate document so you can just kind of find it quickly, but I wanted everything to be in one place also for some of you if you wanted to and were able to print out everything and just have it in front of you. And I'll also post a video on how to walk through the information in this rubric, but generally on the left-hand side is the grade, and then these are the points depending on the points allowed or required, and then just the expectations. So when you have some time, take a look at that, and again, I'll post a video that walks through that information in a bit more detail. I know this is a lot for y'all to throw at you at this point in the semester, but we're going to get through it. And if you have any questions or concerns, you can always reach out to me. And there's also a discussion area with questions and answers. So if you have a particular question, post it there so that everybody can see it and everybody can benefit from the response instead of just emailing me directly. You can still do that, but I'd also like you to post in the discussion area. Okay, take care, hang in there, and keep in touch.